I used to fight the same argument with my own head for 4 hours straight every single trip. The pack feels heavier, the fun wears off, and the rest of the day turns into a negotiation just to keep moving. Every backpacker hits that wall a couple hours in. Then one shift changed how the whole thing felt, and here's what actually changed. Every trip used to start the same way. Loading the car, driving to the trailhead, that first mile, pure stoke. I was pumped. And then that feeling lasted about as long as my morning coffee high. A couple hours in, it wore off, and the morale wall showed up. It always did. This pack is heavy, my shoulders hurt, I'm not in shape. I've still got 6 more hours. This isn't really fun anymore. Once that wall showed up, the rest of the day was kind of a fight. Not against the incline, not against the miles, against my own thinking the entire time the pack was on my back. I'd get to camp physically okay and mentally wrecked, and I didn't understand why something I loved kept turning into that. For a long time, I assumed the fix was tactical. Train harder before the trip. Take more breaks, eat before I'm depleted. And all of that stuff is genuinely valuable, but none of it was the actual answer. I could do every one of those things and still hit the same wall a couple hours in, still end up negotiating myself just to keep hiking. The tactics made the trip easier, but they didn't touch the part of it that was making me miserable. That part was something else entirely, and it took a lot of trips, over 100, to find it. Here's what actually changed, and it's not what I expected. The physical side did get easier over time, sure, but that's not what flipped it. What flipped it was how I related to the hard parts in the first place. Because somewhere along my backpacking journey, I stopped reacting to the difficult parts and started expecting them. This is going to be hard, and it's temporary. I will get to my campsite. I will be able to set the pack down. I will be able to rest eventually. That's it. That one small reframe. Getting that into my head before the wall hit instead of after my morale had collapsed was the key that changed my entire experience while backpacking. But the bigger realization sat underneath that one. Morale inevitably rises and falls during a trip. It goes up, down, up again, especially if you're solo when it's just you and your own thoughts out there, and that's normal. It's not a signal that something's wrong. Feeling low, frustrated, super cooked, over it, none of that means that the trip's ruined. Usually, my bad mood breaks the second something good shows up. You round a corner and there's a peaceful creek, or the trees open up to a beautiful meadow, or you hit a view that you didn't expect. Those moments are what I actually remember from a trip, far more than the grinds in between them. Once I trusted that bad stretch would pass and something good was usually coming, it stopped being able to ruin anything. It was just a rough patch and not a sign that the trip was blown. The trip that showed me how much had actually changed was a through hike of the Rockwall Trail in the Canadian Rockies, a bucket list route I'd had circled for months. I flew into Calgary, checked into a hotel the night before, and opened my bag to find that every ounce of backpacking food I'd packed was sitting back in the fridge at home. I forgot my entire food bag. 4 days of meals gone, and less than an hour before the only nearby grocery store was closing. I had to rebuy my entire trip's worth of food from a store that most definitely did not carry backpacking food. Generic, high sugar, heavier than normal food got thrown together with nothing I actually wanted to eat. And for me, food is a big piece of comfort out there, and I really look forward to my favorite backpacking meals. My dried mango, my muffins and cheese, all of it. So I started a trip I had planned so carefully without any of my regular backpacking food, and it felt like a gut punch, and it stuck with me hard on day one. But a couple hours in, I emerged from some dense forest and the the trail opened up, a wall of gray rock rising straight up out of the valley, glaciers clinging to the sides of it, and a meadow running green all the way to the base. The kind of view that the rock wall is really known for. And the food situation was just gone from my mind for the rest of the trip. Just gone. An earlier version of me would have let that ruin the whole trip. Stewed on it, let it wreck every camp, every dinner, turned it into the thing I remembered most instead of the mountains. This time, I just walked out of the trees, saw where I was, and the food thing didn't really matter anymore. And catching myself let it go that fast when I knew exactly how hard I'd have gripped it a few years back was the moment I realized something had actually changed in me, not just in how the trip happened to go. That payoff on the other side of misery is the whole reason I keep coming back out here and keep making these videos. So if that's a feeling you're chasing too, subscribing helps me put more of this in front of you. Underneath all of it is one belief that hasn't moved in 20 plus years and isn't going anywhere. Whatever is going wrong out there, I'm still out in the wilderness having an adventure. And I would trade my roughest day on trail without exception for a normal day at a 9 to 5. I mean, think about what a bad day at a desk job actually gets you. Traffic, fluorescent lights, following orders, all of it. A bad day on trail gets you sore legs and a story. Even the worst version, soaked gear, a missed campsite, bugs that eat you alive, still comes with a sky full of stars that you don't get from a parking garage, or a stretch of silence that you can't buy anywhere else. I've had days out there that went sideways in almost every way a day can go sideways, and I don't regret a single one of them. That comparison is what everything else comes down to. It's not that the hard stretches got shorter or easier to ignore, it's that I stopped needing them to be easy. I'd already made peace with the hard days long before I left the car, because I'd rather be out here having a bad day than home having a good one. So when a rough day hits now, it doesn't get to me the way that it used to. It's just part of being out there, and I'd still take it every time. This whole reframe, the hard part's temporary, the good parts are coming, it's easy to hold on day one when you're fresh and the adrenaline's still working for you. The real test isn't day one though, it's day two. Day two is when the newness has worn off, your body's actually feeling the miles now instead of running on the excitement of starting, and there's no fresh start energy left to carry you. That's the day the whole trade gets tested for real, where I'd rather be out here having a bad day stops being a nice idea and starts becoming something that you actually have to mean. That's day two, and it wrecks more trips than anything else out there. I go deep on exactly why in this next video and how to get through it without taking the rest of your trip down with it. So keep making peace with the hard stretches before they show up. Remember the good parts always coming, even when it doesn't feel like it, and I'll see you on the trail.